Hi, I'm Bruce Lorenz, and this show is called Bruce on the Loose. I'm on location here in Medina, Ohio. Skip Cypress is here. Skip,
Yep.
You're the director of the Medina County Metropolitan Housing Authority, and you have a big announcement to make, don't you?
Yes, we're pleased to share with everyone that Next Step Up, Medina County's first emergency housing shelter, will be opening later this month and will begin receiving guests, people who are facing some housing challenges like homelessness or imminent risk of homelessness.
And I understand there's no timeline. In fact, you know, it could be something that all of a sudden hit a family or an individual, and you help them to get back on their feet, to be productive in our society.
That's the idea behind this. Next Step Up will not only provide shelter, but also comprehensive case management services aimed at addressing the root cause of the challenge that the folks are facing. So it could be simple job training skills, it could be issues around sobriety or some sort of a mental condition. What we want to do is make sure that those guests get access to resources so that they can transition to more appropriate housing and a more meaningful life.
I understand there are few people will be employed through the Medina County Metropolitan Housing Authority. How does that work?
Well, this facility, Next Step Up, will be open 24 hours a day, every day of the calendar year, and we will have staff on site, at least 2 staff members, who will be supplemented by volunteers. But all those hours, so that's a lot of people, that's a lot of work, and it's going to be very exciting for the staff that will be working here.
And this facility didn't happen overnight. We talked about this, we did a show in Wadsworth.
That's right.
And you were kind of in the planning stages and kind of things fell into place, didn't they?
They did, and we oftentimes want to give thanks to Wadsworth's own State Representative Sharon Ray. She was behind a lot of the push here. She helped us to line up funding for the planning to make this happen, and then also for the construction activity.
Sharon is really gung-ho, and she really had her son at the middle school, and he was in speech and debate and really a dynamo, isn't she?
Yes, I wish I had her energy.
No question about it. How many people or families could you accommodate here?
Sure. So the shelter, Next Step Up, will have 27 beds and 2 cribs. It will serve men, women, children, and when necessary, pets, because pets can often be a barrier to people accepting shelter.
So some people really have a good fondness for their pet. They might not come if you didn't have that activity.
That's right. And I've seen personally in Wadsworth when we were renovating Menoir Apartments. That's a pet-friendly facility. There were 2 gentlemen who were living in their vans because they didn't want to give up their dogs. They ended up living at Menoir. And so we know how important that is, and our staff members are very sensitive to the needs of the guests and their pets.
So you really branch out. You really have facilities in Brunswick, Medina, Wadsworth. Do you have some people to help you have a heads up on all these projects?
Yeah, the interesting thing about affordable housing is there's no entitlement programs that provide for them. So we have to compete for every resource we get and perform to keep them. And the Housing Authority serves over 1,300 households every month. Household could be 1, a household could be 5. So we're serving over 1,300 people every month, and that's with either a rental unit, rental assistance, or in the case of the shelter, those seeking emergency assistance.
Oh, that's unbelievable. And meals are served here?
What we will do is work with the guests to prepare their own meals, because
Okay.
what we want them to do is to assimilate into their own sort of home-style approach. And so if they're here and they're learning to cook and clean up after themselves, if they're learning to go and shop and come back and do it, because they may be out of those habits because they're facing crises. We want them to be able to learn skills so that when they transition into more appropriate housing, they'll succeed.
So we always think of the big cities, New York and LA and Chicago, but there's certainly the need in Medina County, isn't there?
Every community has homelessness, whether it's visible or not. In Medina County, it's less visible, but we know that there are people staying in their cars in parking lots for 24-hour-a-day stores. We know that people are at the truck stops. We know people are staying in parks. So it may not be as visible, but I can assure you homelessness exists in Medina County. Our team experiences over 60 calls a month from people facing crises. So it's real, and Next Step Up is going to help address that.
Why don't we take a second out and talk to your team member coming in, and we will be right back with Skip and Medina County Metropolitan Housing Authority. Hi, we're back with Jesse Kane, employee of the Medina County Metropolitan Housing Authority. What was your role in getting this started?
Yeah, so I serve as the Emergency Housing Program Director for our emergency program. So I oversee our emergency portfolio. So I have had a hand in recruiting the team, onboarding the team, hiring the team, and making sure that the shelter is going to operate at a level so we can best serve clients.
It seems like it's a flux. It's people coming and going
Yep.
and learning to how to cooperate and
Yep.
to work with other people. It has to be really challenged to stay on top of all that.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique experience for sure. So it's really about collaborating with our own team. So that's really important here, making sure that our team is on top of things and best practices and doing all the things that we need to be sure that we serve our guests right. So yes, it's a lot of coming and going and things happening, but there's a deep level of collaboration that happens throughout our team.
Is there a standard time when people come and then they get their act together, or they things go in their direction and they leave?
Yeah, so it's case by case, really.
Right.
So depending on why someone is homeless, so the homelessness, depending on what caused it or what assets someone might have, we have to look at all of those things collectively. So someone might have more strengths and more resources and assets than others. So it really depends. Everyone's cases are going to be so different. So their timing is gonna be different. But we want shelter stay to be rare and brief. So we will work that case plan to make sure that things happen as naturally and organically as possible.
Seems like society has become more complex. Technology is supposed to make things easier,
Yeah.
but to go ahead and get unemployment or to to think about applying for other jobs, to take care of your children and get them in school, all that is very difficult
It is.
when you put all that together.
Yeah, so we will have a case manager on staff to do just those things. So we will have a case manager who will look at what someone's needs are, what someone's resources are, and then tackle them one by one. So some might take priority to others, but our goal is to address all of those needs that they have to be able to make sure that when they leave housing, it's no longer an issue.
Seems like the health of the people are a real concern for the facility, and dealing with hospitals and doctors is not sometimes very easy.
Yeah, so we're going to be working with the Medina County Health Department on a lot of different things. So they have the health clinic, which we can partner with them to make sure that our guests have those resources available to them. But there are other resources in the county who have all stepped up and they're like, we want to help, we want to assist, and we want to provide the resources that we have. So we've been able to make those relationships what they are so our guests can be served the best that they can.
Well, that's good to know that the agencies are working together, because no one operates in a vacuum or isolation.
Absolutely.
It makes the overall stay here shorter, as you indicated, and then they can be productive back in this
Absolutely.
society.
Yep, and it really does take a village. And this kind of work in shelter work, it does take a village. So yes, we will provide the shelter, the roof over the head, but it's going to take other providers and other agencies to work with us and to work with our guests so they can get the best care and the best resources to help them succeed.
No question about it. And all the preliminary work, you really are looking forward to opening coming up. That has to make you feel pretty good.
Yep, we are excited from a staffing perspective, but I think we're also excited for the people who actually need this service in the county. Yes, staff are excited to serve and to be fulfilled, but it's going to help our clients right now, and we know that they need it the most.
No question about it. Very good talking to you and getting
yeah.
background on
Thank
this.
you. Yep.
It's not an easy situation dealing, because every situation seems to be unique and different.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we have to approach it like that. So it's not a cookie cutter approach at all in this work. So we have to look at everyone differently, and we have to kind of have that lens that everyone is coming in here differently, and every situation is unique, and that's how we'll approach it.
Well, thanks very much for sharing.
Yeah,
I
thank
enjoyed it
you.
very much.
Yep.
We'll be back with another segment in just a moment. Hi, we're back with Jesse, and I guess we forgot the kitchen.
We did. We did forget the kitchen.
We forgot the kitchen, but this is the individuals here
Mm-hmm.
are using this to their advantage. But they have to get the items.
Absolutely.
They have to serve and clean up.
Yeah, so the whole idea behind the kitchen is to really have guests become as independent as possible. So we will assist them with cleaning, and maybe they don't know how to cook or use an oven or use a microwave. But we want them to be as independent and empower them as much as we can. So that's the idea behind having this kitchen, so they are able to do that. Of course, we will assist them with what we can. But really the idea is this is their home, and in someone's home, you don't have someone coming and cooking for you, coming and doing things for you. So that's really the idea behind this.
Yeah, we have microwave, we have everything here.
Yep.
Toasters,
Yep.
we have the utensils, and they can go ahead and mark
Yep.
items and
Yep.
put their name on it and
Yep.
and make sure it's their chicken for the next day or whatever.
Exactly.
And what do you see may be the percentages of families? Maybe a child with a mother.
Yep.
How will that play out?
So right now in hotels, we have 3 families. So that's 10 total people. So we will likely average at least 2 families. So a family could be a mom and a child, a dad and a child. The composition doesn't, of course it matters, but not for the data. But we will have children here probably at all times, just given the data that we have. So there will be lots of different dynamics of the composition of the households here. But we're, Next Step Up is equipped for that, and we've kind of thought of the things to be able to have those households here.
So in other words, now you have people in hotels, but now they'll be
Yep.
housed here. So
Yep.
so really, the county is really probably saving some money.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So what we will be giving to the guests that are here, so we will be able to give them that comprehensive case management, whereas at the hotel, yes, we can give them as much as we can, but all under one roof and having everyone here, it's going to be better quality case management, better quality services. So that's the idea of doing the case management here and having everyone under one roof.
I think the case management really is an integral part.
Absolutely.
Because there's so many doors to go through and so many pitfalls along the way.
Yep.
And government hasn't gotten any easier
Yep.
along the way, and this they will shortcut ways in which people can
Absolutely.
get services.
Yeah, and the system itself can be challenging to navigate if you don't know how to navigate it. So having staff here who are going to help people navigate and telling them and assisting them in how to obtain resources is imperative to helping people out of homelessness.
No question about it. And I would think during this temporary period, they would feel real good that they have support.
Absolutely.
They have people that know what they're talking about, that
Absolutely.
talk to them, and that gives buoys their
Absolutely.
positiveness
Yep.
and areas to go forward.
Absolutely. And we want to empower our guests. So empowering is their first step out of really handling their homelessness. So we know we can't do for them, but we can walk with them in this journey to really taking their next steps out of this. So we will assist them. We will walk with them and empower them as much as we can out of their situation.
It's not been a real easy way for them to get in trouble and difficulty, and it also they have to be patient, and things will work out if they listen to their case manager, if they have the patience and strive to move forward.
Absolutely. And guests will have the opportunity to do things that will better their situation. Of course, there might be a few who just simply aren't ready to receive the services, receive the help, but they will have the opportunity to receive the services that they need. Maybe it's recovery services or treatment or mental health services. And the opportunity to come here and to get those services is imperative for them.
As a former principal, we sent a lot of students from Black River to the Medina County Career Center. Are there any possibilities that people could retrain maybe in the evening to get into a field
Absolutely.
that needs people?
Yeah, so we're working with temp agencies and we're working with Ohio Means Jobs on workforce programs. So that's another, our case manager will work to get those people connected to the resources if that is their need. But again, that all comes with identifying what the actual needs are and then knowing what programs and what resources are available for our guests.
No question. So it's really a temporary situation, and you
Absolutely.
really want people to, and they may, in the end, get into another field that
Yep.
they really didn't even think about before. Someone, the case manager, mentioning something and said, "Oh, I was thinking about that
Yep.
years ago."
Absolutely. And when someone's experiencing homelessness, it's very difficult to know what your plans are or establish goals or to think about goals. So bringing guests here and putting a roof over their head and letting them just decompress allows them to think about things, you know, far more than what are they going to eat that day? Where are they going to sleep that day? Because when you're experiencing homelessness, that's what you think about. You don't think about your long-term goals or even your short-term goals. So that's what the idea behind all of this is.
You've given us a lot of good information,
Thank you.
and really here to help the people and get them on their own to help out. Even the pets.
Even the pets. Even the pets. Yeah.
That is really
That's
unique.
important.
No question about it. We'll be back in a second with another segment. We're back with Skip, and we're in a room here, a bedroom for the.
This is the women's sleeping room,
Okay,
one
right.
of several sleeping rooms we
Okay.
have at the shelter. This room specifically for women, with a crib in the background, as you can see.
Yeah.
And so the idea here is for folks to have as comfortable, dignified, and meaningful space for them to decompress, get some rest, and then work on their challenges.
And then also some tubs underneath. They can put their personal items there.
Right.
Really.
Storage in a shelter is at a premium, but this gives people the opportunity to keep stuff close to them. There are also lockers for every
Okay.
guest, so they can secure other belongings.
Reminds me of my old Akron U days, but make sure you get your stuff in line so no one else gets into it.
That's
No
the
question about it. So the situation is that, again, the people have a case manager and they'll be working through. Now, also, I noticed those TVs up in the other room we left, those aren't for cartoons or
No.
shows, are they?
No, I joke, and most people don't know what they are. They're not for watching soap operas.
Okay, all right.
What they are electronic bulletin boards, and there are resources that scroll through so folks have access to information on job opportunities, wellness activities, anything that might be geared towards the folks who are in shelter. So our hope is that, again, folks are addressing those root causes of the challenges, and yet in still a comfortable home-like environment. And so, for example, outside we have a patio area where folks can sit outside and have a meal. We have a small playground for the young children. The idea here is to make it as comfortable and as settling for the folks, again, while they work on their issues.
So they're not just here, just vegetating and taking up space.
No.
It seems like there's a really plan for
Oh, yes.
for either the families or the individuals to try to get them to think ahead, think about their future.
Sure. And every guest will have assignments. So they'll get an individual case plan that addresses the challenges that they have, but they'll also have assignments while they're here. So it could be your turn today to take out the trash, your turn to empty the dishwasher. So folks get used to the idea of what it's like to be living on their own. And so folks have to learn those skills if they don't have them, reintroduce them to their lives if they have had them, and that will help them when they transition out of shelter.
So let's say someone listens to their case manager and goes ahead and gets more education and then gets a job. Does Metropolitan Housing Authority even look for housing, maybe an
sure.
apartment for them?
Sure. We will help them sign up for available housing opportunities within our own program, as well as with private landlords, and also in contiguous counties.
Okay.
So affordable housing is rare, and it's competitive to have it. And we've worked on that in Wadsworth. Wadsworth actually has some of our best and largest properties, and they perform extremely well. But developing them takes time and resources. So it could be a guest transitioning from shelter. They might be better suited to take advantage of an affordable housing opportunity in Summit County. And if we can help them find that housing, we will help them get the resources to make sure that they can transition out.
Seems like you haven't had any stone that's not unturned. The people, what comments do you get if someone has gone through the program and come and got through the case manager and got more education and got a job and you got housing from? Do they recognize all that you've done?
Well, in the industry, lots of folks, especially in other jurisdictions, recognize that value and they want to come back and give back to the community. Now, again, Next Step Up is just about to open, so we don't have examples of success stories yet,
Right.
but we will, and we will make sure that those get out there in a way that the public can recognize them, whether that's social media, some work on newspaper, perhaps another story with you guys, that folks understand that while this is also just, it's needed, but it also delivers. And that's what we want to make sure people understand, that this is going to be a very good thing for folks here in Medina County.
And people, again, earning a wage, they don't have to go through unemployment. They don't have to go through all that paperwork and drudgery. And then it probably makes them feel like they're productive and it gives them confidence.
Yes, and I think part of what Jessie and her team are selling to our guests is hope. And when people realize that they're being embraced by the community, that this is real, that they get the opportunity to succeed in life beyond just today, I think that's what really starts to resonate. And I expect that we'll have some of those very same people coming back and volunteering here at the shelter.
No, that's really good news indeed. What really impresses me is the work with other agencies, your collaboration. I think that is really, really super.
Well, Medina County is, I think, blessed with some of the best social service organizations, units of government, whether it's the Office for Older Adults, which has been renamed, or whether it's mental health agencies, whether it's Hope Recovery Community. There are so many great social service providers in our county, and they want to work, as Jessie explained, with us and our guests. So that just snowballs into success opportunities for the guests and the community at large. Keep in mind, Bruce, we're also located in an area that's not just close to those social service agencies, but plenty of retail opportunities and job opportunities. So the location fits, and it gives the guests the best possible opportunity to succeed.
Sometimes the young people, those entry jobs, clerking and everything, they say, well, someone else can do that. They open the door for people that really need those jobs.
Yes, very much so. And again, the dignity of work, once it begins, can snowball.
No question about it. I was at the Medina County Fair, and the military, the services that they give to the veterans, I was really impressed with that. So Medina County is a great place to live and get assistance for.
Yeah, it's a great place. They like to say live, work, and play. I think it's also a great place not to shop and to worship. We have a great faith-based community who've been supportive of this shelter. And I am confident that folks that give it their all when they come here are going to succeed.
No question about it. So what is in the next couple weeks coming down the road? Is this, we're getting close to opening this?
We are. We'll be transitioning guests that we're currently housing in hotels. They'll come in, we'll call it a soft opening, and we will move them in, get the bugs worked out of the system, if you will, a little bit, and then we'll be opening up to receive guests and transitioning them.
How can residents in Medina County help?
The best thing they can do is to go to the Housing Authority's website, mmha.org. There is on the main page, they click, it takes them to a landing page that talks all about the shelter. They can sign up to follow us on social media, to explore opportunities for volunteering, to sign up for email updates, and then if they're interested, they can find a way to donate to the shelter itself.
No question about it. We have enjoyed the tour and the information, and certainly, I guess the invitation was extended. We can come back maybe after 6 months, and then we can see how things are going. And are you anticipating any headaches or anything that you haven't thought about? They always come up, don't they?
Yes, we're not anticipating headaches, but there will be bumps in the road, and so that's why this will be a fluid situation. We'll work on it, and we plan on doing a really nice dedication ceremony once it warms up a little bit.
Right.
And we've gotten accustomed to operating the shelter.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate
you guys coming
your
out.
information, and we'll get this to Medina and Brunswick Cable. And this has been Bruce on the Loose, and we've been at the Medina County Shelter, Emergency Shelter, and the people are going to profit from this. Thank you very much.
are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.